All right, we're live. Abel, what's up, my man? I'm so glad you could join us, be the first one on for day two.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. I'm really excited to be here. I'm a big Sisu fan since the beginning, and I'm honored to be here with you today.
You got the dashboard behind you, which I'm seeing. Looks amazing.
Yeah,
I'm a little bummed because I know you got like an 80-inch monitor out there in your lobby.
yeah.
That's even cooler. But that one looks great too, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah. So I have a dashboard here in my personal office, and then we have the main one on that 80-inch. I always, the way I refer to it whenever someone would come to our office is like, think of it of departures and arrivals at an airport. Like that's how we track our stuff.
Yeah, I love it. Well, cool. I see
Hmm.
see a couple people filing in here. If you're joining in, just drop a quick comment. Tell us where you're coming from. And we'll get started. Abel actually has a pretty slick, you used Prezi to build something for us, right? Which is kind of really cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Am I
yeah. So yeah, you'll see.
wrong?
You'll see soon.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And for me
All
to
right.
share screen, I just got to press share screen, right?
Yep. So
Okay.
Abel, maybe before we get into that, I've had the pleasure of knowing you and working with you for the last, what's it been, almost 2 years now. You were one of the like
Yeah.
early guys on Sisu, right? Way back when. Um, But maybe tell everyone a little bit about yourself. You're coming from Miami, right? But a little background, and I'd love to hear that.
Sure. So yeah, Abel Gilbert, Miami, started in real estate back in 2001 as a mortgage broker. Got my real estate license in 2004. Did both things until the market crashed. After the market crashed, I really never disconnected completely from real estate. But when things started coming back for me, where in 2010 when locally the local courthouse announced that they would start doing the foreclosures online. Before that, it was in person, so it was a very tight group of people that had a lot of control over it. And as soon as it opened up, I saw an opportunity, spoke to an investor, said, look, we have an opportunity to buy, really cheap properties. And long story short, I did probably about 100 flips with first that investor. Then I became a partner. I never disconnected from being an agent. One of the things that I love about real estate is being able to build relationships. And at one point of time, once I had children, because then a few years later, my wife and I were blessed to have triplets. So once our kids were born, I was like, you know what? I can't base my future and my income only on opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that, the residential real estate part of our business, if you structure it well, it could become a machine. So then I put all of my effort and focus in how do I make a residential machine? So I decided, I'm going to stop. Like I was at the peak of my career as an investor, but I said, I need to stop now and I need to focus on being an agent. So very quickly, I figure out how to, sell a lot of homes. And then I started putting together a team. Then other top producing agents in Miami started noticing that. And it became this like osmosis where one agent came, then another. And it kind of changed my plans because when I opened my brokerage originally, it was really for my own business, my own deals. But then as other top agents started coming on board, I was like, okay, no, we got to do this now.
Mm-hmm.
So we originally started with a different name. Maybe 6 months into recruiting agents, we decided to create a name that was more relatable to what we were, what we do. So we decided to call the company OnePath Realty. And OnePath came up out of what do we do? We hide. I'm sorry, we guide people. So we don't hide. We're not secret agents. Uh, we guide people. So we're guiding buyers, we're guiding sellers, and we're also guiding agents through a path. So it's just like, what
I
sounds
love
good.
it.
It's catchy. We came up with this logo. Well, actually, it's a little different now. So yeah, that's how things started off.
I love, Abel, how you say, because it sounds like the spark in all of this was you had triplets and you're like, oh geez, now we have to figure something out, right?
Yeah,
I think the best thing for that sounds crazy, but the best thing for a lot of our business is to have triplets, right? Or have a crazy
yeah.
thing happen. You
I
know what's funny is our CEO Brian, he coaches a few agents still, and he tells them all to go buy a car that they can't afford so that they feel motivated every single day when they're driving it. Like, I got to pay this thing off, so I'm going to go make my calls, right? So
Yeah, that should
sometimes you
definitely
got those little
motivate you.
things that force you, right?
Yeah, yeah. I strongly recommend having triplets. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
right.
I'll get on that.
Yeah, that was, it was never in our wildest dreams that we would have, multiples. But, definitely, I tell my agents, it's very important to have a purpose, to have a clear why.
Mhm.
Having children isn't like, you shouldn't have children to like just have a why, like let life take care of that, once you get to that point. But it's definitely very important to obviously recognize your blessings and do the best you can, to provide and be able to be the best you could be.
Yeah, there's actually a part in Sisu where you set your goals, but behind that goal, there's a why. There's a reason. There's a deeper reason. It's not just money, right? There's something deeper that drives everything that you're doing.
For sure.
So what we wanted, I know you're very passionate about something, which is marketing. I'm very passionate. I remember we connected on that when we first talked because you told me all these insane things you were doing with marketing. I was like, man, this guy's got it dialed. And then you told me, what was it, a few months ago, when I thought that you had one of the more dialed in marketing plans and everything, you're like, no, we revamped everything. Like we took it back to square one. And I thought that was cool because I thought you already had it dialed in. Maybe there wasn't a reason,
Yeah,
but you were just kind of taking it to the next level, right? And I think that's what you wanted to show us and talk to us about today, right?
for sure. I've been watching the conversations you've had with some of the other panelists, and that's why I'm also honored to be amongst all these other top agents. And one thing that we all have in common is that we obviously want to be able to track our lagging indicators, but also be able to predict how these lagging
Mhm.
indicators are going to help us make the production that we want. And I do not lose focus of that, because the within an organization, within a business, there's all these departments, right? Like the production, the sales, the people, the marketing.
Yep.
And when it comes to marketing, it's funny you say that, because we got that a lot too, where on OnePath 1.0, a lot of agents in our local industry would always praise, wow, even our
Yep.
own agents, they would always, be very proud of showing off like what we do. But one thing I've learned is that business is all about marketing and innovation, and even more than that, where I feel where the main reason for coming up with OnePath 2.0 behind it was our message. Like, what is our message? And
Mhm.
then once we started, which by the way, all of this was thanks to COVID, because what happens when which it's what's
So
starting to
we
happen.
need triplets and we need COVID. That's how you
Yeah,
make a
right.
massive change, right?
Right. We need like life-changing events to like make these things happen. So so I say it was thanks to COVID because and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching could relate. If you're a team leader, broker, single agent, wherever you are, one of the things about real estate that we all have in common is that it's you're always on the go. You're always go go go. You gotta deal with things that are urgent, and typically urgent always comes before important.
Yeah.
And for me, having the right message was very important, but I was just focusing on the urgent. So then COVID hit, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm busier than ever. But now that I'm home, basically 24 hours, like, my days went from, being from 5 in the morning to night at night. So now I had a little bit extra time, to focus on these other things. So look, and it's also important to mention, um, it's important to surround yourself by the right people, by the right people, especially really with anything, sales, marketing, productivity, admin, management. Because, we didn't go to real estate school to learn how to be great at all of these areas. So it's important to surround yourself by people that have those abilities. And when it comes to marketing, you really need a fresh brain. You need a fresh creative brain, because if you're in the go, like I was, and like I still am, but a little different now, your creativity is not fully there. So you need to be able to identify someone who is going to help you with that, come up with ideas, come up with ideas for right now and ideas for the future. So when we decided to go with OnePath 2.0, the first question we asked ourselves.
One thing before you keep going there, Abel.
Mhm.
That's so important, because I feel like a lot of highly successful, highly productive people, if they don't feel just slammed, like they can't even breathe with all this urgent stuff, they feel almost guilty that they're not doing enough, right? Or what you need
Right.
to do, you need to just ignore it, put it aside, because if not, you can't get onto that high level stuff, kind of like what you were saying. But anyways, keep going. I
For
thought that
sure.
was a good point.
I mean, look, I have so much to say about that too, because, it's really easy to confuse busyness with productivity. And
Mhm.
that is the reality that most of us live in, until you become consciously aware. Like if you don't become consciously aware that, shit, I'm just busy,
Yep.
but busyness doesn't really translate into productivity and actual results. So it's very important to be conscious about that.
But you
So
feel
going
good
back to
after 8 days of being, or after 8 hours of being busy. You're like, man, I worked hard today, right? But it doesn't always mean you were super effective. So,
correct, but that's why it's important that you have clarity is the key.
yeah.
Clarity is the key of everything, because if you're a team leader, if you're a team agent, if you're a broker, if you don't have a clear understanding of the highest and best use of your time, then yeah, you're busy doing all this stuff that you shouldn't be doing. But then at the end of the day, did that really translate into what you should be doing?
Yeah.
So and that's a clarity that doesn't come overnight. That's a clarity that comes with time. And one thing also I've learned is that it's about making progress.
Mhm.
Don't expect like an immediate, like, oh my God, I had a life-changing event and now I'm different today than I was yesterday. It doesn't typically happen like that. It really happens over time. So what happened with us as far as deciding, like,
Yeah.
what do we do as far as our message? And when we ask ourselves these questions that are really very basic, like, who is our audience? And when we were answering the questions, obviously our audience are buyers and sellers. But then, talking about thinking about it from a brokerage and team perspective, our main audience are agents. The main audience that, as a brokerage and as a team leader, that I want to communicate with are agents. Because when I decided to get out of production, it was hard for me, because I truly find pleasure in helping a family buy a home.
Mhm.
So it was hard for me to say, okay, yeah, I'm happy to stop being an agent. It was more like, try to figure out, how do I replace that feeling. And I was able to replace it by uh, realizing that if I stopped producing, I could focus on helping more agents that are then going to in turn help more people. And at the same time, this is something I realized later on, uh, when my agents would write to me and say, Abel, you've changed my life.
I love it.
Once that happened, it was like, oh my God, like, this is what I need to do. Like, it's hard sometimes to say no to a past client, or because yeah, sometimes I miss looking at beautiful homes, and watching people smile. So I'll take one or two deals a year. But the satisfaction of changing somebody's life and knowing that there's so much more to come. It's really, I mean, to me, really, I was able to use it to replace the need to be an agent.
I love it.
So when we were answering the questions of, who is our audience, we wanted to also focus on how do we communicate with this audience? What is our message to them? Should our message be like, most other real estate companies? Oh, I'm so good at this. I'm so good at that. Look, I'm pending. I have this transaction under contract. I have this for sale. Look, I closed and made all this money. It's not about that. Obviously, when it comes to communicating with someone, is what is your problem? you know what is your problem, and then here's your solution, and then here's who's going to basically solve that problem for you, which is us.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, also being able to show you know the happy families. So for our agents, because their focus is buyers and sellers, we in our branding, which I'll show to you in just a
Yep.
moment, we focus on that. We focus on people. We focus on their smiles. We focus on telling about the story, the experience. Like, how did this happen? How did this go from being let's say a Zillow lead to a long long life relationship? Because
Yep.
that's what typically ends up happening with our clients. So before we get into that, let me just go ahead and share with you. Let's see.
Yep. If you share, you can share one of your browsers or screen, and then I'll throw it up live so we can see it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I will add that. So probably got yep, there we go. I'm seeing it. Looks good.
You can see the Prezi?
I do see the slides. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Prezi, not
Okay.
slides. Way more high tech.
So I cannot see your face, but that's okay. I could hear you.
Don't worry, I'm
All right.
small.
So
I'm eating it up. So you just keep on going.
cool. Cool. So when we decided to do the launch of OnePath 2.0, first of all, this was months in the making. And again, I did not do this by myself. This was literally a team effort. 5 of us, which is also, like I said before, it's important to surround yourself by the right people, that are going to help you do the specifically what you're trying to do on that department. So this was definitely a group effort. So when we had our agents, they knew that something was coming, and we gave them a date. We said, look, on this day, we're going to announce something. Something is going to change. So we didn't really give them everything. We just told them that something was going to change. And one of my goals to show you guys this is so that if you're thinking that, what, I kind of want to like change things up, like feel free to use this as a point of reference. And because it's all about how you break the news, the excitement, and then even more importantly is how do you follow through with it. So we'll talk about that. So what we did first, when we were in the process of deciding, like, how do we transfer the message, what do we do about our company name, about our company logo, I didn't want to completely change our brand, because I felt like, what, we already have a pretty cool logo, and a lot of people like it.
And
And
changing a
so
logo is expensive. It really is, right? So
yeah, I mean, changing a complete logo is, look, if it has to be done, it has to be done. But what we did was, instead of thinking about let's change it, we thought let's clean it up.
yeah.
And this is how that happened. So I'll show you. This is OnePath 2.0, how it became 2.0. So what we wanted to do also, while we did all of this, was we wanted to keep it simple. We didn't want to like make this into like an overcomplicated process. And so that's why that was one of our main objectives.
Yep.
So this was our original logo. These were the colors that we used. So then what we started doing was we started eliminating pieces. So as you could see, we changed the color. Then we used just one color. Then we said, okay, what if we get rid of the little dot in the A? Then let's get rid of the registered trademark, which, by the way, this name is registered trademark. So is our logo, this one. If you love it, let me know. We're actually going to be expanding into other cities if you want to be a part of this. then we eliminated that little line, then we eliminated something else. So then, this was literally the presentation we did for our agents. So we did like a countdown: 3, 2,
This is
1.
cool.
Yeah, and then we
We like to
presented our
build up
new
the hype.
logo.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we with this the keyhole logo, it was the same one. We just now we use it a little differently. So we use our logo in different ways. Now we use a little bit of a different blue color, which is the one you see there. It looks almost black, but it's actually blue. We use it like this. We use it like this. We use it
A
sometimes
lot
just
of
that.
people moving. I mean, it seems to be moving to a more minimalist, clean kind of like
Yes.
it is. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. It was important for us to, again, keep it simple, but also open the door for us to be able to not just be recognized as the, brokerage, the team that only works with, medium-sized homes, which are, that's our bread and butter. But now we are more, we're stepping into the luxury side of our business, of our local market. As you know, there's, lots of luxury homes in Miami. So we wanted to position ourselves in a direction that allows us to have a look, that keeps it, very minimalistic and nice and simple. So that's how we basically use our logo now. So as you could see, going back to this logo, we didn't rebrand. We just cleaned things up. And
Yeah,
when
you
I
actually
saw
cut
this,
down what you already had a little bit. Yeah.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly, and it was honestly, like, to me, it was uh, impressive, to see how by just removing a couple of things, it's like a totally different perception.
Yeah.
So this is, basically our new logo, and we've, changed everything up too. Our marketing, as far as, printed materials, we have different versions of, business cards and our printed materials. We also do digital business cards. I feel it's very important to do digital business cards, because let's say if you are a team agent and you're scheduling an appointment, and you know how realtors are, right? Like, most realtors suck. So it's like, when you send a message trying to schedule an appointment, and then that other agent, that listing agent, is going to be like, sometimes they ignore you. So what we recognized was that when we send a digital business card with our picture on it, it kind of, number one, breaks the ice, and number two, it made, like, our response, from listing agents, was like, it went through the roof, because
Interesting.
now it's like, oh, this person is a professional agent. Like, this guy is not like, that one agent that just got his license and doesn't know what he's doing. Oh my God, like, I don't even want to talk to this person. Now it's like, oh wow, like, this guy, he seems to be, or girl, seems to be somebody that knows what he's doing. So digital business cards are very important.
Nice. Yeah, look clean.
Also, email signatures, uh, our branding in our marketing with social media, which I'll show to you in just a moment. Listing presentations. Listing presentations are very important when it comes to also making sure that they are for the right sector of the market. Your medium-sized home listing presentation cannot be the same one you use for your luxury type of home listing presentation. These are some of the marketing that we use for marketing, outside of the office. Uh, then we also play with our logo. We play with our logo. We play with colors. It was important for us to also, feel more real, a little bit more casual, a little bit more like accessible, and not this, like, oh my God, this is this luxury brand, or this is brand that it's too cold. So it was important for us to use colors. Now, this is a very cool and interesting concept. When it comes to rebranding, in my opinion, it's not just about changing the look. When it comes to rebranding, or just changing what you're doing, it also must come with a mindset change. So we came up with this concept of wow, and wow stands for we are one. So internally, our team, everybody knows that we are one. So part of our core values is collaboration. And that's been, since day one, even since OnePath 1.0. So what this did was it just solidified that, listen, guys, we are one. We are here to obviously, offer our clients the best possible experience, but we also need to provide each other with the best possible experience. And we do that by collaboration. We do that by really just the environment, like hanging out with each other, helping each other. If somebody has a question, everybody jumps to, like, to help each other answer those questions, scenarios, lessons learned, and things like that. We're one home, so we also focus in our office. We've made changes in our office because, again, change doesn't just come from, oh, okay, I have a new logo. Change has to come from the core, and the core, when it comes to a business, your core is your office. So your office needs to also, be consistent, with the whatever changes you're making. We're family, and that's another one of our core values. We don't just say it, we do it. And when it comes to family, and in my opinion, it has to come from the leader. If you're a leader, if you are leading your company, your brokerage, your team, and you're going to preach family, you have to make them feel like you're family. Because if you say family, but then you're rude and you're unprofessional, or you're just not there for them, then it's just, you're contradicting yourself unconsciously. So when it comes to family, it's important that that you truly mean what you're saying. And also, family is not just, oh, okay, yeah, we hang out when we're in the office. No, we hang out with our own families. Like,
Right.
we care for our children, for our wives. Like, we want the best for them. And that's why, really, that's one of the reasons why we do what we do. Because if you're a father, if you're a mother, like, you want to be able to provide the best life you can to your family. We're one human force. So when it comes to growth, when it comes to your potential, look, there's only so much I could do, by myself. The way in which we're going to give ourselves the highest probability of making our dreams happen is if we do it together. And that's why collaboration, family, trust, are very important core values. And the agents need to understand that, look, I'm not looking to grow just for my best interest so that I could get rich and fat. I'm doing this so that we could all grow and we could all make our dreams happen.
Yeah.
This is one of our agents. We're one perfect system. So, the reason why we are also integrating this concept is because, look, the reality is about, the life of a real estate agent is very difficult in the sense that it's very busy. You start early, you finish at night. So you have showings in between. So if you're hungry, what do? You end up passing by Wendy's, McDonald's, you eat a cheeseburger, you maybe drink a milkshake, if no one's watching. So, so what happens is that, you're doing all of these, you're making all of these changes around your business, but then you're not changing your inner self, when it comes to the food that you're putting inside yourself. So, like, in our office, we all have a very conscious effort, where everybody focuses on working out, everybody focuses on eating right. We're not perfect, and perfection is really not what we're seeking. But what we are seeking is, number one, the consciousness that this is important, and then encouraging each other, basically, to make it happen.
Throw one thing out, Abel, not to take too much time, but I know a lot of our CSU clients, one of their KPIs, their key performance indicators, is exercise and or meditation. I see that way more than I would have expected to, because by measuring that, you're showing that it actually means something. So anyways,
Yeah, for sure. And I know that we're running out of time, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna make this. That's why I'm just going through the slides.
Yep.
And obviously we focus on our clients. We focus on their experience, because that's everything to us. Making sure that their dreams become a reality. So that's one of the other things that we focus on when it comes to the brand and the message that we share. We want to make sure that our clients see that the point of all this is to help them make their dreams happen. Now, at the same time, my brokerage is a bit of a different model. So we have an independent brokerage, but in the independent side, I only focus on hiring agents that want to go from being a top producer, single agent, to being a team leader, to go from being basically an operator, to being a business owner. Because at the end of the day, that is the goal. The goal is to have more quality of life while maximizing your potential. So I'm not going to go over this right now, but basically what these colors mean are the different groups in our company. This is a work in progress, OnePath University. Also, obviously through our marketing, we're working on different email campaigns. We have a OnePath commercial brand and OnePath luxury. So, this is I love this saying. The future depends on what we do in the present. So that's why we decided to make that switch. And then also, by the way, guys, I encourage you all, Abel Gilbert Group. If you have Instagram, add me. I'll follow you. The same thing with our company, OnePath. Let's see, OnePath Realty on Instagram, so that you can follow us. And then what we did when we launched OnePath 2.0 is we separated OnePath 1.0. So as you could see, like the look is different here. And then when we launched OnePath 2.0, we separated it all. And then all of this started. When we launched OnePath 2.0, everybody received this personally delivered to their home. So it was a box.
Client or agent?
I'm sorry?
Your clients or your agents, or both?
No. This is a welcome kit for our agents.
Oh, nice.
So our agents received this box with this letter. You could read it if you go to our Instagram account, and with these goodies. So t-shirt, mug, and a mask. This one. So yeah, again, it's about the experience. It's not just about, and let me just get out of stop screen. It's not just about the message and what you're saying. It's also about what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
So we really wanted them to have a tangible, something tangible that made them feel like, oh my God, like this. I've never seen this before.
I love it, Abel. Thanks for sharing all that. I'm sure that was an hour long or longer presentation. We somehow did it in 30 minutes. I have one question. I think everyone would be interested to know. Jeff's asking, who put that box together for you?
We did. Our marketing team.
Okay.
Our marketing team did. If you want more information about that, we will be more than happy to show you, how we designed it and what company we ordered it from.
Cool. Well, I think, brand and culture are two things that are very intangible, very hard to drive. I think the way that you drive it, and what I've learned from you, is you just got to believe it and put a lot of love and care into it, and then just go out and live it. Right. And it's something that it's a long play. It takes a lot of time, but over that time, it catches on. So awesome
Completely.
stuff. We're going to move on to our next session.
Thank you, Zach. Pleasure seeing you.
Yep, we'll see ya. Keep those.
All right, take care.
Like I said, you should post in the group your massive Sisu dashboard that's in your lobby. It looks so clean. It's totally on brand.
I will.
Okay. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks.
All right, so